to a church and yell out and go. But a man that's a line here that got his mind froze this right here. That's the kingdom within. I don't know who confused y'all and threw you misdirection to make you believe that the ultimate control, the ultimate kingdom in God ain't within. So I see a lot of people lost right now because they don't have control. They don't have center here. How you know? How you know? When you have that power. My brother said, you trying to get paid off the people. Listen, man, I ain't built no robots. I built some AI systems, but I haven't built no robots. So, way I look at it, you can only get paid off the people. I never liked that saying, you trying to get paid off the people. What else is there on earth? Who else is going to exchange, right, some money for compensation of value? An animal, an alien. Until the robots is passing out money, you got to get paid off the people. That's just how my sense of humor is set up in a different kind of way, man. I just don't understand it. They be talking about you trying to get the keys is trying to get paid, man. They be at work every day trying to get paid. Mad that I want to get some money. Why you mad that I want to get some money? Damn. Am I the only one can't get no money? Do I want to get paid off the people? Yes. You know what I'm saying? I want to get paid with the people, off the people. You know what I mean? It's just people on the planet. It's 7 billion of them. I can't get me some money. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to understand what's the problem. I'm trying to understand. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, I'm trying to get paid. Somebody was key. I see you trying to get some money, man. Yes. Can you tell? Can you tell? You know, I got my passport right here. I'm trying to put some more stamps in it. I spend my life educating and teaching people around the planet Earth. You know, I thought that's what you want black men to do. I thought I lived my life, and again, this is all like, I'm not no perfect person. I be wilding out. I still got some nigga in me that I'm reforming. I'm still unlearning things and teaching myself things. So this don't come from I've done conquered it all and be made it to perfection. I be wild like that. You understand me? So I say that will give me grace as I learn. Right? And I think we can all get grace. But I think we can all get money too. But I do believe in righteous capitalism. You know what I mean? I always thought that I was living in a way that, you know, we want black men to live. Like if I created a platform where I have like the largest wellness platform when it comes to spreading out that education, those episodes reached around the planet Earth. You understand me? Like I thought that we wanted us to take our money and invest and buy super wellness facilities that feed the community, but I guess not. I guess not. My brother Yaki, man, just announced he got a $10 million plus facility. Like that should be on every news channel. But let him announce some bullshit, then everybody picking it up and commenting and all this, that, and the third. It's like, y'all niggas be confusing me. I thought this was the goal. I thought this was the goal. It'd be on every magazine in the world. Yeah, I mean, all black news site, he came out and did some stupid wild shit, but y'all want to talk all of these things about Dr. Umar for trying to build a school for 10 years. You understand me? But here's a brother that accomplished building his dream out, put his own money. That could have went into Lamborghinis and houses and whatever. And that's why I'll be like, man, we be doing amazing things that require you to be a goddamn genius to do every single day. You watch that episode of my brother being able to break down the science to a molecular level. He breaking down cells. You understand me? Like, he took me through a machine to where he showed me my blood in a matter of seconds and showed me the liveliness that was going on in my cells and was able to break it down to me right there in front of me in my eyes and put it on screen and say he spent $110,000 to customize a microscope so that it's made with this particular crystal so that the light can penetrate deeper to see the cells. I'm like, yo, what the hell a man got to do in order to be impressive to y'all people? But let me go get a nigga who can rap on a microphone and put him on a show and then everybody running. And it's like, I don't think y'all be appreciating black men for real. I don't think so. Not when we do incredible things. Listen, I have the only independent show that's ever been able to get 70 million views and 70 million episodes. 70 episodes independently. But if I would have took $20 million and sold out, you understand me? Y'all would have praised the money. You feel me? And it's like, I know so many black men and women I just think the world is crazy the way we look at them. Why do you think I want them at my shows? Why do you think I put them on before? I reach out to us before we get popping and famous. I'm not that clout chasing guy. I see before it happens. You know what I'm saying? I reach out to all, y'all just found out about Nature Boy. I've been on top of it. I keep my scan open for all of the young guys that's out there growing. You know why? One of the reasons is because when I was first coming up in the game, I had a few people that were looking out for me, right? But there was nobody that can give me sponsorship, right? I was able to get some mentorship from some of my brothers like Blue Pill and Red Pill, some OGs in the game, early, giving me guidance. But there was nobody that can give me money and put me on a huge platform. Right? And help navigate that. So I said, let me create the platform I didn't see. And then when you do get to a point and level, make sure that you don't turn your back on those who's going to come up as well. Because when it usually happens is when we have to do so many things by ourselves, we get frustrated. And the reason is because you got to bootstrap and you have to build in such a way to where you start saying, man, F everybody, I'm going to do it. So you build up this grit. And that grit, you understand me, is despite the lack of help. And so now you got this chip on your shoulder. You got this attitude, right? So now you don't want to talk. You don't want to work with nobody. You want to hear none of that shit, man. Y'all niggas want to help me, this, that, and the third. And that's the thing that got you there. So you nurture that attitude to keep you there. And I'm like, I would rather reach out to my brothers so that they don't have to get to that point. So they know that they got support. Right? But I'm going to tell y'all now, man. I ain't saying I'm reaching my limits. But I am at a point in time where... Oh, excuse me. I am at a point in time where I wish we learn faster. I wish we learned faster. Because, there's a lot of things that I've predicted, I've shared, I helped build, and there's a lot of people who may be ready for it now. But it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get the culture to work together, to build together, and a lot of people just didn't see that vision. They thought I was crazy. Keys, why are you trying to get us to do stuff together? We can do this by ourselves. You can do it by yourself. And I'm like, y'all don't think y'all see what's coming for us. That's like, you trying to warn the Avengers to come work together, and they like, man, I don't need to work with nobody. Until Thanos come in and start snapping. And that's what's about to happen right now. Thanos is coming in snapping on everybody, and now everybody want to form Avengers. But it's like, You know, let me get my time to say I told you so for a second. Let me gloat in this moment. Because it is true. Every head shall bow, every knee shall bend. You feel me? And so we're at that point in time in the culture where in society, where the global majority, you know, I got to get their shit together. And you all are a part of that global majority. I was having a few conversations. I talked to the brother Ryan Leslie earlier from Superphone. He has an incredible company. You know, great brother. I'm going to be working on some campaigns with him for this tour. I had a high-level conversation. I sat down with my brother Idris Sandu, tech genius. I sat down with the president of the Black Farmers Association. He's the only black man that I know of that was actually able to get black people reparations to the tunes of billions in America. So I went out to Virginia to go see him. You know, and we having these conversations. I talked to my brother Antoine Digital, who is a tech specialist that's building out tech platforms on the back end that you all will be able to get access to help us in our wealth club. I talked to my brother Keenan Beasley, who is a former VP, CPG specialist, worked at spaces like Tide and Clorox brands, and, you know, got access to all kind of different things. We talking about putting together something special that's private I can't tell y'all about. You know, talking to my brother Jalen Brown, you know, working behind the scenes on things. Private again, can't tell y'all about. Some things are working, some things are in the cooker. You know, I need y'all to trust me. I need y'all to pull up for this stuff. You know what I mean? We got to stop acting like we got tomorrow. We got today. Use it. You know? I talked to a lot of my brothers. Talking to my brother Aristotle, man. He out there in Puerto Rico doing his thing. You know, my brother Rashad out there in Benin. So y'all know I was actually supposed to be in Benin. We have some email mix-up, so I didn't end up going. But yeah, I'm supposed to be out there with Lauryn Hill, President of Benin, and all of those different things. But you know, God places me where he needs me to be, exactly where I am. You feel me? So I guess it was meant for me to focus, because we writing these books, we putting together our InvestFest plans, putting together our Supermind, and we about to start raising for our Supermind company for the first time. Right, building out this cognitive renaissance. The other day, we put together a event, and this event was an immersive experience. There was a lecture. There was a couple of different rooms for where you played these games that were about practices of cognition and taking you out the world so that you can retrain your mind and your brain. And we were teaching a culinary experience of allowing people to mix up different adaptogens and nootropics. Adaptogens are things that help reduce stress, essentially, right? They help you deal with stresses. So things like reishi and turkey tail. And we have this mushroom compound, right, from Supermind that we're putting together that, inshallah, we will have together by InvestFest. And then you have things like nootropics, things that boost brain energy, clarity, and that's our Lion's Mane and our cordyceps. So there's another compound. You guys will see footage from that soon. Don't worry about it. I'm just kind of running down things that's going on in my world right now. We have these people we working with, putting together the tour, right? And you said I'm telling this too much? No, it's not. I have a lot going on that y'all never get to see, right? So I just want to share it because my day is usually full with so many meetings back to back to back. My manager, Mechi, who is basically the CEO to help in life, he sends me all kind of different things where I got to make decisions on. Stuff that we got to cut, decisions that we got to make, people that we got to pay. You understand me? Income that we got to keep flowing, places we got to fly out to, networking. We trying to troubleshoot problems. People on the team that we got to figure out, all right, how do we replace? It be a lot of stuff that happen behind the scenes. So that's why I feel like, it makes me want to even post less unless I'm showing the process. You feel me? And that's why I get on here. This is really kind of therapy, just to be able to vent to y'all, right? And to let y'all know what's going on in the world, because the lives are not for everybody. The lives is not to reach a new audience. The live is to foster your current community. And I have an understanding of this social media game. I have an understanding of how to build a community, because it ain't about building a product right now. You have to learn to build a community. It ain't about just creating clips or creating a podcast and getting millions of views. That's not the way that works. That actually only matters if you're getting sponsored by people who's paying you for that sort of reach. And if you're getting sponsored, then of course you're going to put more money into it. You can do that. But what really matters, if you're starting a podcast and things of that nature, it's about the depth of connection, right? And then I want y'all to understand there's a lot of work that goes into that. When we do a high-level conversation, I just want y'all to think about kind of like what goes into it, right? So first we got to fly out to a place, and then we have to get a hotel. So that's already cost, right? Or if we're local, then we have to rent out a place. That's another cost, right? And I'm only, just so you can understand the value, right? And all of the different steps that go into it. So we sit down and we plan. We say, okay, we have to do a high-level conversation. And we pick the person that we're going to do it with. And then sometimes I don't always get that long of a moment's notice. Sometimes I get 24 hours because the schedule opened up, right? And so you have to do your studying. You have to figure out how to position the episode. So we run it through our framework of what's the best way we're going to be able to get it out there. Because when you're trying to give an educational topic to people that they actually need, then you have to figure out how do you get them to know it's happening, because we now live in a world where people only have 7 seconds of focus on average. So we're on our phone and we're constantly context switching. So it was easier to get people to sit down, right, when they have no choice, like during COVID. Now we have so many different options that people don't appreciate value in that production. So you have to spend time cultivating, letting people know, right, what you're putting into it so they can watch it. And that's especially if you're doing something educational. Otherwise, we can just go with, just finding streamers and entertainers to have on the show and just make it a funny show and just get viral clips, and that's it. But long form content is actually prescribed today. Short form content is messing up your brain. And because when you're trying to train your cognition, right, you want your brain to go deep on a subject consistently and be wrapped in a world of learning so that you can actually build real connection. So what happens is when you have short form content, you're constantly context switching and it's destroying your focus. So you go from one context, then you're scrolling on the phone, then you go for another show, then another show. So therefore, long form content over 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours is the best for your brain to be entrained into one long thought process. And it's important. So the way we make content, and the reason why I keep it long form is on purpose, because it's actually good for us, and I don't want to add to the algorithm of junk that's messing up your brain. So some of you all have to go back and this 30 minutes of straight knowledge, maybe I can only listen to that much. You start switching up to another video, right? And then you never make it to the end, and then you miss out on the best part. So everything that I do it based on what I believe is prescribed for us right now. And media is important because if some people might not agree with me on things or like me, but they can agree that I'm necessary, that I must exist. Because if you take me out, right, and it doesn't exist, then we stop believing that we can show up in different ways. We stop believing that we can show up in different ways because we don't see it. So now we get boxed into what we think is safe. You need somebody, whether you agree with them or disagree with them, you need radical people. You need unsafe people. You need original people. You need different thinkers. It keeps everybody else free. It actually does more for you than you would ever know. If you have a coworker that works with you and they loud and they cursing and they wilding and they tripping, they're actually making more room for you to be loud, but not as loud as them, because you now have something to compare to. Well, they're a little bit too free, too cavalier. And it's how it is for larger society. When you have somebody that is more radical, right, they expand and give you more liberty. So I must show up in all my extraness. I must show up in the flyest suits. You understand me? I'm making it safe for everybody else to be outside. You need me. So even doing these tours, I'll be honest, these tours are a lot of work. A lot of work, right? And it's a lot of work for something you don't get paid for till much later. And you're not guaranteed to get paid, right? So, all right, basically, when you buy a ticket, unless somebody's charging you like $100, $200, you're just paying for that person to put on the event. All right, so let me break this down, right? Let's say a venue costs, if you're doing a huge stadium, let's say sometimes you go to a stadium and they do a huge, beautiful Kanye West, Beyonce type thing, right? The only way that can exist is comparable to how much the ticket sales are